up, guys? Welcome to another edition of our Wrestling Pulse. I'm Coach Robert and Ryan. I am J-Man. On this edition of Pulse, we give you guys our Ring of Honor Best in the World, if you want to call it that, 2015 review. Very underwhelming, very disappointing, and just a very blah show here. Had a nice outcome at the end, but just all in all, just tough to get through, to be totally honest with you. Crowd just wasn't there at all, especially for a New York crowd. And the quality just really wasn't up to par with what we were hoping for. So
kind of like a WWE pay-per-view.
Pretty well, not lately.
Pretty good lately.
Pretty disappointing show for Ring of Honor. Not what we were hoping for, and really unfortunate because we were hoping for some good stuff, and the most part we really didn't. We're gonna go ahead and run this card down for you. First matchup, we had Mark Briscoe going up against House of Truth member Donovan Dijak.
Yeah, this was just kind of a fun opener. They went out there and just kind of threw some moves together. I mean, it was just like a whatever kind of opener, and it was cool. Get the Donovan Dijak on the show. I actually really like this guy. I think he has a lot of potential and upside, and good finish, good look. I think we agreed that he looked like Mark Jindrak and Nigel McGuinness combined.
And who was the other one?
Heidenreich.
Heidenreich, yeah.
He just got like
Mark Jindrak and Nigel is pretty spot on, though.
Yeah, and you say like Pau Gasol or
some sort of basketball player.
Tall white
basketball player. You could fit any name.
Either,
there.
whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
Mark Briscoe going over here, getting the win here, clean. I don't know what the point of that was. I mean, he's done his fair share of wins and losses, and he's not doing any storyline. He's not doing anything really. Literally, the only thing I saw out of this was his brother was in the main event, and House of Truth members was with Jay Lethal. That's the only.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I really saw with that opener. But I thought Dijak should have went over here, even if it wasn't clean. Even if he had help from Truth or something, I think he should have. I think he should probably got the win here. It would have made sense for a young guy like that to get over at this pay-per-view and build his way up. If he started building himself a little fan base with the crowds and get some time in the ring. Obviously, it took a while for Elgin to do that, but once he started getting putting on some quality matches and the fans got behind him before he was the champion. And now no one could care less. But this guy could be something kind of special in Ring of Honor if they can really give him some time.
Yep. Next matchup, we had the team of Matt Sydal and ACH going up against the Decade. This is our fun match to just shit on for the Decade portion of it. Sydal and ACH, I like that team. Like I said in the preview, I think it's a fun team. I think Sydal works well with just a lot of guys. I really made, which I don't know if you guys caught it in the preview, I made the comparison almost to an Air Boom with Sydal and with Kofi. Really kind of similar in styles and everything they work. So
see, I compared him to Shelton a little bit, ACH.
Yeah, I mean, either way.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever you want to do. Athletic guy, as far as what they do, and work well together. Likable guys. So I think if you continue that as a tag team, I think it's that's totally cool. I'm cool with that. Decade, not cool with pretty much any of this. BJ Whitmer, just the definition of a human, just ball sack and penis, just all wrapped in one. The back of his head is it's a stretched out ball sack, is what that is. And just Adam Not So Cole Page. That's pretty much what you give the Decade.
Adam turned the page.
We're going to turn the page in this match very quickly.
We agree that BJ Whitmer was
he was BJ Quit. We want him to BJ Quitmer.
We want you
to BJ Quitmer.
He was also the guy that we wish cancer didn't beat.
Neville is the man that gravity forgot, and unfortunately, BJ Whitmer is the man that cancer forgot.
Okay,
the man that cancer didn't get.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
We are terrible people.
The one that got. He looks like he's
the one that got away.
The one who has cancer and beat cancer, and he shouldn't.
To me, I just look at BJ Whitmer as a man that is just your prototypical used car salesman, and should probably be doing that as his full-time job.
He has
not
cancer
being on
after
television
chemo?
and being on pay-per-views. That's BJ Whitmer for you. They did their fun little things here and there. Whatever. ACH did his little high spots. Sydal, looking good. Whatever. That's what we get out of it. Decade looked like they're the Decade, and they won this match for some reason. Really, just at the start of this card was just
God awful.
so just
Generic.
just
Sucky.
like okay. Yeah, you're not having the amount of talent really in there. I mean, obviously, Seidel and ACH are talented guys, but still, just like, and the crowd this entire night didn't help with anything. But yeah, looking for a Seidel and ACH win, then go that route, win with the decade, whatever. It was your prototypical, pretty much match you'd see on any Ring of Honor weekly show. Was what you could hear in the decade of BJ Quitmer and Adam Turn the Page, Adam Not So Cole Page. And we're going to turn the page in this matchup. Next matchup, we had what is he, the Peacock of Pro Wrestling or something like that? Dalton, Don't Call Me Sexton Hardcastle, going up against the last real man. And oh boy, does he have a solid stash on him. Silas Not So Young.
You're about it with those.
This is the match of nicknames. Don't
just
call me Sexton
really
Hardcastle.
the Peacock entrance and the two little guys just
That shit's
spanning
epic.
him.
Don't even shit on it right now. I'll shit on you. I've been farting all fucking night, man.
I know, I can smell it. But
Ass
it's all right.
blaster 5,000, your fucking ass, man.
Don't make
Oh,
us.
God,
We'll shit.
Really, I mean, it wasn't that great a match. It was there. I mean, it had just comical parts and making fun of the last real man, really, and that '70s mustache of his. But and this Dalton Castle and the Peacock.
Where has been the truth stash? We haven't gotten the truth stash in a while.
My wife told me to shave.
Oh, no, you don't do
No.
that.
Mm-mm.
Well, my wife told me to, so I do.
If Brock Lesnar is at the next WWE pay-per-view,
Which he
you
is.
have to
We're
have
gonna
a mustache.
and you're gonna be there.
Shh, don't tell him. He didn't know.
Oh, sorry.
You have to have a mustache.
No.
No?
I'm over that. That was so,
Bork Laser.
Yeah,
He's
that
gotta
was
have
then.
the
This
stash.
is
That's the
now.
gimmick,
Wow.
man. That's the gimmick.
But yeah, Dalton Castle getting the win here. Nothing really special.
There you go. Next matchup, we had Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, CNC Wrestle Factory. It's cheesy to say. Going up against Hanson and Rowe and War Machine.
Yeah, I don't really know. I guess this match was just kind of there to be there. It mostly was kind of a storyline development thing. War Machine just kind of squashed them. Cedric Alexander, which one's which? Caprice Coleman is the older guy.
Is right, and he's the not Cedric Alexander's a little bit thicker.
Okay, that's
He's
right.
the one
He's
that
a
had the
little
wrench.
thicker.
Okay,
yeah.
so
He
Caprice
normally
Coleman
wore like all orange. I remember him always
yes.
wearing orange.
Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander were teaming up, doing really good in the beginning, got off to a hot start, and then there was kind of a spot where Coleman accidentally hit Alexander with a kick or something, and then he was out on the outside, and Alexander picked up a wrench or something. And
Went under the ring to get the
yeah,
wrench.
went under the ring to get some wrench thing. And
This wrench was like the pick of destiny of the show too.
Yeah.
It came back later in the
it
night.
did.
As well.
It was around.
It was
And
big time.
And Coleman wasn't about the cheating. He didn't want no part in the cheating.
Coleman's all about
Face. He's very
Face. And Alexander's kind of been leaning towards the dark side, and
of the Force.
yeah, it was something along
So
those
he
lines.
healed him?
Something.
They don't really uncover him being heel yet.
He's that prototypical tweener, ladies and gents.
He's in that tween.
He's in that tween zone.
And he got mad and sounded real nice about it.
He did.
Nice
You got-
little
Don't you do
heel
that.
turn, yeah.
Don't you? I'm mean now.
Hey,
Hey now.
I'm
I'm gonna
Cedric
get-
Alexander
I'm
here.
gonna get so over.
As a bad guy,
I'm a bad guy.
people don't like me anymore.
Bad guys. Who got the win in that match?
War Machine. It was a complete and utter squash, pretty much. The CNC Wrestle Factory did a couple of double team moves towards the beginning, but most of the time it was just like a giant squash. War Machine just whooped ass and then got the win. And then after Alexander just kind of was about to hit Coleman with the wrench thing or whatever that was,
Pick
and
of destiny.
yeah, and just
We're done, and walks away.
and he's like, no, I'll walk away, and he let Coleman, get out of there with his head, because that would have been brutal. But yeah,
They're going to have a wrench on a pole match. I see it coming.
it's
It's getting there.
yeah,
War Machine getting the win
War Machine.
in that matchup there. Next matchup, we had quite possibly the most awkward triple threat that we have seen in quite some time. We had the number one contenders three-way matchup for the Ring of Honor World Title with Roderick Strong, Michael Elgin, and Moose. Yeah, this is just just kind of clusterfucky for a good portion of it. As we pretty much coined it, it was, obviously the best worker in this match. I would say Michael Elgin is a good worker. Lately just hasn't done anything that we've given two shits about. But it's just Roderick Strong just kind of in a lumber yard, just kind of working pieces around the yard, just getting some work done. Having to literally just deadlift football players, fucking linemen, with no help, because Moose don't give a shit. As far as, assisting when it comes to...
Moose is the future.
When it comes to... Of what?
I don't know.
Of coming out in just shitty LOD gear and a football helmet, just... And Michael Elgin, man, that's...
He wants to be a football player again. That's his problem.
Oh, well, he probably should have just stayed.
Is he trying to do the Doom thing, the Dr. Doom thing?
Maybe a little.
The Elgin?
I guess.
Got that weird country rap song.
It's like
playing.
a country rap rock. He tried to just throw every genre of music into one song.
Have like a weird crazy robe and just...
It's just not happening.
Trying to be just super special and
he's a boxer.
For the ultra charismatic Michael Elgin. And Roderick Strong, doing what he's got to do with, what he's got here, which is trying to work around this shit. We had just a multitude of maneuvers where it came to with Moose, and it's just he's a tough boy to maneuver around. I'll tell you. He's
never probably ever taken these spots.
He looked very, and as Ryan's point, he looks like a guy who has just worked your prototypical squash matches with a bunch of smaller guys, and now he's in there with guys that aren't, and it looked fucking awkward and not good. As we say, the best part of Moose is the first 45 seconds you see him, and then it's we got a Moose match ahead of us.
Yeah.
Watch out. The fun entrance is over. You had your spots with Elgin and Strong, which were solid. As we said, this should have just been Elgin and Strong. But you could have had Moose in a squash match and build up towards something, but or not build up towards anything with him. But thankfully,
they're building something with Moose.
But thankfully, Roderick Strong.
You a Moose follower?
No.
I don't the Moose train?
He's an elk guy.
Oh, you're an elk guy?
He's an elk guy.
You seem more of like
not a Moose, no.
Apache.
Bison?
Apache.
A bison?
Oh, hunt
bison
Moose.
guy?
Yeah, maybe.
You can't hunt
Robert,
Moose.
That's
illegal.
You also haven't hunted, ever, probably.
I could, though.
I mean...
You seem like a bear guy.
Are you a bear? You a bear?
Not like a bear, like actual bear, like a large hairy gay man. They call them bears.
I thought that was you.
I've been out the gay business.
Oh, okay. Since when?
Since.
No.
Thankfully, Roderick Strong saved us from anyone else in this fucking match winning and becoming number one contender, and Roderick Strong became number one contender. Just had to work around a lot of fucking goofy shit, a lot of just awkward spots, and working around just a giant tree in the middle of the ring, which was Moose.
Ooh, the storyline at the end. That was great.
Oh, yes. We cannot forget
that was great.
The kind of dissension between Veda Scott and that other guy that's with Moose. And Moose, he's been the kind of nice guy after matches. He's the hesitant heel, who does not want to be the bad guy, but he's with the fellowship of heels. So he kind of just feels compelled to be heelish.
I feel like they put two heel people with him to make him seem more heel. And then he just seems like a just a person. He's not a guy or face.
Just a guy, yeah. And everybody's so over with his entrance. They're like, you're not heel. You're just fun to just go out there and say Moose to and just watch Fumble fuck around. And then had the dissension and Veda Scott slapping the shit out of Moose, and then Cedric Alexander came in with the Pick of Destiny wrench and hit Moose with it, I think.
Yeah.
I think that happened. And then Cedric and Veda Scott had something going on, a little Jungle Fever shit going on there. All right. Don't know what's going to be going down with that wrench later tonight. Who knows?
Saying a wrench on a pole match.
Yeah, so thankfully Roderick Strong saved us from all of this and became number one contender. Again, continuing the hot streak that Roddy's been on this entire year and the latter part of 2014. Just whooping ass and having solid work. Everything that he goes out there and does is definitely some great stuff. So had to work around some shit here, but Roddy, the new number one contender in that three-way matchup there. Next matchup, we had a six-man tag match featuring the Bullet Club of AJ Styles and the Young Bucks going up against the Kingdom with Adam Cole, Matt Taven, and Michael Bennett. This was your fun, spot fest pretty much type match. It was some good stuff. You had the spot kings of the Young Bucks in there, so you knew you were going to get your fun stuff out of that. Cole, Taven, and Bennett, they work well together. They're a fun little team. I like the little faction they got going there with Maria and everything. I like all of those guys. I think they're obviously headed with an Adam Cole and then an up and coming Taven type guy, and the talent that they have with Bennett and tag champions and everything there. So and AJ, doing his shit. So can't really fail with anything going on here. As we said, it's pretty much like mirrored images of each other as far as characters go. They're that super over heels that aren't heels. They're, as we coin it down in the Pulse Boys, we coin it the King of Wrestling heels, because the Kings were so over as fucking heels. It's pretty much the coin term now. But yeah, you had your fun setup spots here with the Bucks. It's a lot of just high octane, fucking X Games offense that you get from the Young Bucks. A lot of high spots, a lot of stuff from the outside. We had the Indie Taker with the spiked double tombstone, and you had the fun spots leading into Styles clashes, and Cole and AJ had some nice exchanges. So I mean, it was basically your prototypical 15-minute, just throw a fuck ton of spots in there and get the crowd fired up and stuff like that. But yeah, this was fun. This was good. Enjoyed it. It was what it was, and we pretty much knew exactly what it was going to be. The Bullet Club getting the win after their AJ and the Bucks pretty much finished that they've now been doing in these three-way matches, doing the spike up tombstone and then holding them and handing them over to AJ to do the Styles Clash, which it's just fun. Just to see AJ and the Young Bucks just doing their shit in matches is just doesn't get much better than that. So the Bullet Club getting the win in this enjoyable and extremely fun 6-man tag match.
Yeah, a lot of talent in the ring with both these two teams. Obviously feuding not only in Ring of Honor but New Japan. And one of the spot that the Bullet Club did that was kind of funny is Marie was standing there and AJ kind of Pele and this Bucks both super kicked it. It's like
all at the same time.
All at the same time. It was kind of a unique little spot there. But no, it's just everything that AJ Styles can do, everything the Young Bucks can do, and then you throw in a Matt Taven, Michael Bennett, Adam Cole. There's not too many guys better in wrestling than these 6 guys, and just the spots that the Young Bucks can do and AJ can do, and Cole hitting the Destroyer and AJ, and just when you have that much talent in the ring, you can do kind of big spots like that, and you can pull them off so they look good. The Bullet Club getting the victory, it's good to see that. AJ, obviously coming from Ring of Honor years ago, leaving and coming back now, and just world-renowned IWGP World Champion. So.
Yeah, this was cool. This is about what I thought it was going to be. This was even a little underwhelming. I thought maybe it would have been a little bit better.
It really didn't get a lot of. I mean, it got time, but it just seemed like they just pretty much shoved 15 minutes worth of spots in there.
Right.
Even
how the show ended, there was like 15, 20 minutes left of of the 3-hour pay-per-view left. They could have crammed
that into
more time into some matches. Would have gave a little more time to some stuff. But yeah, this was fun. They did all the cool spots, and I thought it was great. They did the crotch chops were on point.
So many crotch chops.
There were so many. They were everywhere, all over the place, and doing the too sweet chant, and the crowd was all into. Crowd was definitely into the Bullet Club, and the whole match as a whole. It was kind of an even split for the Bullet Club and the Kingdom. I feel like the crowd kind of liked both teams quite a bit, and as overall, I just felt underwhelmed, like with how the crowd acted.
It wasn't a typical Ring of Honor crowd. No.
It just seemed kind of like, I don't know.
Any other show.
It maybe like to where Ring of Honor is now, to where it was a couple of years ago. Maybe it's you don't get that big match feel. Like you don't get that big card feel. Like when you look at the card and you're just like, holy shit, this is something we got to see, But they did this extremely great promo for the main event. If you have not seen that, it's still worth seeing, even though the show's over. It's one of the best. It's probably the best promo they've ever done for a Ring of Honor show. I can't seem to think of another one. They did that. Wolves one a couple of years ago.
They had one with Steen and Generico that was really good too.
Yeah,
but it's been a good 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a good promo, not just in Ring of Honor. Just
I would
in
probably
general,
say
really
it's
good.
probably the best promo that we've seen for a match.
Yeah, promo
I mean,
package.
probably. I mean, there's a couple really good ones for WrestleMania. I would say a couple like the Wyatt ones, the Taker promos were pretty good. But I mean, the Punk and Cena Money in the Bank one from 2011 was pretty on point too. So yeah, but it was awesome.
Yeah, but
Check it out.
So
It's liked on our channel too. So if you guys want to check
So
it out,
you're going
it's
back
below.
4 years. They have a really good promo.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
it just seemed they were trying to hype the show with this promo package, and it just kind of fell flat. Maybe it just wasn't exactly what they wanted, or maybe it wasn't just that it was the crowd. Maybe it was just the match quality in general just wasn't. I think I heard 1 or 2 "This is awesomes."
Yeah.
Like that's usually not something that happens in Ring of Honor. That's usually like a constant. You at least hear it in 3 to 4 different matches throughout the night. A big spot, a something. But that missed the mark with some of that tonight. But overall, the match itself was fun and exactly what I thought it was going to be. And both Club in the win, so it was pretty cool.
Yep. Next matchup, we had the no disqualification match for the Ring of Honor tag titles between Champions The Addiction and Red Dragon.
Really looking forward to this one. Obviously, the rematch. The Addiction taking the tag titles from Red Dragon. It really didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was good, yeah, but it wasn't spectacular like it could have been. The Addiction in the interview beforehand, they called themselves the main event players, Dragon Slayers. So
I think we had some sort of dragon on Christopher Daniels' fucking singlet that we haven't seen him wear in about 16 years. Just looked like a baby. Just why?
Just kind of like the previous match, a lot of spots and a lot of high impact spots with ladders and chairs and stuff. And there was one spot where the Addiction was on the outside and Bobby Fish grabbed a chair and O'Reilly come off on like a knee or something, or drop kick right into him. It was a pretty high impact spot, but just a bunch of spots, boom, 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 and then we have Saban come and pull the referee out, and then they end up getting the Addiction
Abruptly, just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
So
no steam
Just
for it.
and he looked like
heat
what
on it all.
what we call him, like a junior in high school, going to school.
Just Pro Wrestling's Bart Simpson. I'm telling you, that's what Chris Saban is. Very underwhelming.
God, that's so spot on.
And
It is. The more I think about it.
A very disappointing finish to that. Thought we'd get a lot more out of that, and really just continued the trend of just the quality of I mean, besides the Bullet Club and Kingdom match, which obviously was a lot of high octane, fast paced spots. All the other matches were very slow paced and just very. And of course, I think the crowd had a lot to do with it, kind of dragging on some of the things, but just very slow, worked, paced, a lot of stuff, and just like, damn, I don't know what the fuck was going on. But the Addiction getting the win in that very lackluster finish towards that Ring of Honor tag title matchup. Next matchup, we had the main event here. It was title for the Ring of Honor World title and the Ring of Honor Television Championship with World Champion Jay Briscoe going up against Television Champion Jay Lethal. As we said a couple of minutes ago, that promo that pretty much sold this pay-per-view for, I would say, a lot of people. Which was outstanding. They showed it at the beginning of the night, and they set this up to be pretty epic towards the beginning. The first, I would say, 20 minutes of this match, the crowd was fucking dead as shit. I mean, just didn't give two shits. Didn't give a shit. I mean, they were setting it up to be, a pretty lengthy match. Had a lot of, wrestling in the ring and a lot of, hold for hold type stuff. I know they had both families of Jay and Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal there. It had Jay Briscoe's mom and dad, and had Papa Briscoe out there. So really setting this up to be something pretty epic. That was, a solid matchup. I think this was, this was the match of the night. It really, to me, it's hard because obviously setting it up so epic with the promo and the way that this match has been set up to, you're looking for it to be something, outstanding and spectacular. And this was good. This was, a really good matchup. But again, it just kind of left that underwhelming feel to you. But I think that it has a lot to do with the wear off of the entire card, kind of weighing down everything for that 3-hour night and getting to that finish. And you're just like, yeah, but I mean, look what else happened. It's just kind of like, yeah, that was a great finish and everything like that. But it's just everything else kind of weighed it down, and it weighed it down heavy. But getting to the finish of this, you had a lot of, solid spots that really, got this going towards the end. You had the Jay Driller spot from Briscoe to Lethal through the table on the outside. And then you had the kind of finish of spots towards the end with them both hitting their finishers and stuff like that. You had Lethal then finally hit the J driller on Jay Briscoe, both J's in this. J for J, top for title, belt for belt. We had Lethal hit the Lethal hit the J driller on Briscoe. It's really hard. Then you change their first names. And then Lethal hitting the Lethal Injection on Briscoe and winning the World Championship and retaining his television championship. Great move here. I thought that's just what they had to do, honestly. It was the right call to do. Jay Lethal has been, one of the best things, if not the best thing, going in Ring of Honor for the past year. He's just been doing solid stuff, and as we said, just built himself up into a main event player and into a quality solidified main eventer, and had an outstanding matchup here. It was good stuff, and getting the world championship from Jay Briscoe clean 1-2-3 right in the middle of the ring, and a well-deserved moment here for Jay Lethal, a guy who has worked very hard through Ring of Honor into TNA and now back into Ring of Honor, and as I said, solidifying himself as a quality main eventer. A great character behind him, great gimmick, the promo work, and the quality work.
Do you have any ear back pain?
Kick out! And a quality worker in the ring. So a very well-deserved moment here for Jay Lethal, in a solid, very good matchup here. And now the new world champion as well as the television champion, holding on to that.
Yeah, it's good to see Jay Lethal getting a main event push now over this time and becoming a world champion. Just him build himself up and just being this, he's held the TV title 441 days, something like that. So it's good to see that. I mean, the match itself, it was all right. It was good. You have such high expectations for Ring of Honor shows typically and Ring of Honor matches. I think that's what made this card kind of a letdown because we had such high expectations for it. But typically Ring of Honor puts on those kind of shows. As a main event world title match, it was good. I enjoyed it. The spots to the table and having the families cheer them on. They kept going to that way too much. This did a lot of that, and it's like, okay, you kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. I thought it was fairly predictable for Ring of Honor, having Jay Lethal win it because of all the promos and that promo package and stuff. But it was a pretty good match. And it's good to see Jay Lethal as world champion and TV champion. So it'll be interesting to see how the Roderick Strong #1 contender match goes.
Death Before Designers next. Who knows if they do that there? But yeah.
No, they said they were going to.
They were. That'll be good stuff. That'll be good.
Yeah. The one thing I took away from this show, and I'll get to this main event, but with this main event in general, with a lot of things that happened, I think what the Ring of Honor was trying to do here was come away with the big time moments, like the big time moment and the big time feel of a big pay-per-view. Having Moose dress up in football gear and have a crazy entrance and have cheerleader ladies come out or whatever and have Moosettes, right, or whatever, and then have the Bullet Club and the Kingdom come out and just kind of have the whole lineup, with the just like on paper that match looked good, and then you have the main event, the Ultimate Warrior versus the Hulk Hogan with the Intercontinental title versus the World title kind of thing, like, and the moment of the main event just being like, okay, Jay Lethal getting the win here. They have both parents there cheering him on. They did go to that quite often, and they kept showing it. They kept making this match seem more like a moment instead of an actual match. And to me, Ring of Honor exemplifies professional wrestling. And when I think wrestling matches and quality, I think that with Ring of Honor. But this pay-per-view to me felt like they tried to make it more of a spectacle instead of a wrestling event, and it didn't cross over well. I just felt like it.
Yeah, and more to your point, I think that's something that Ring of Honor does is they, instead of trying to create moments out of their matches, they have matches that create moments.
Right.
That's what Ring of Honor usually was built on. It was the quality of whatever you would get delivered would produce outstanding, long-lasting moments for their company.
So it seems like since they started with Destination America, they're trying to be like every other wrestling company.
Well, I've noticed ever since they've been on pay-per-view, they've pretty much they've tried to I wouldn't say more mainstream. I wouldn't say run the product more. I would just say a lot more trying to focus on everything else. That was something that Ring of Honor in the past never worried about. That was something that, in ECW never worried about. They were always like, we're going to hide our weaknesses and focus on our strength and, being different, being counterculture. And that's what Ring of Honor was when they started up. And now you kind of get that feel that it's like, well, we're going to have to look and you got all the corporate people and the backstage people and all the people running the company thinking, well, we need to start looking more and, having it be in that fucking underground looking fucking fashion
Terminal
model,
5.
whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
And, with the lights and the production which I think all looks great and all, it helps the company in that aspect. I think they're not focusing on the key of what makes Ring of Honor, which is the quality of talent and the quality of work in the ring.
Right, and the another thing that I noticed was the pacing of this show in general. The matches were not paced. They just didn't seem paced well. They just they seemed awkward. They seemed not like the spots weren't organized correctly. It just seemed like it dragged. It just seemed like it didn't go from move to move to move. It just seemed like there was too much.
A lot of botches and some of the
towards the beginning of the show. There was a lot of
first half of the show was just like
organizing and figuring out where they were going and the flow of almost every match, I would say, except for
I think another thing that plays off that is you have a lot of talent that has never performed on a pay-per-view and never performed on a high-scale thing. So you got a lot of guys that are used to, performing on, live shows, just going straight to DVD, and they don't have that pressure that you're not used to. And I think that's a lot of things that I think that WWE looks at as far as, they're going to take talent up. Yeah, they look at the quality of the talent, the look of everybody, and all that kind of stuff. But as far as how they can translate onto the WWE mainstream, look and feel of everything, I think you got a big feel about how a lot of talent on here and how they reacted to a big time feel, being on pay-per-view with the lights, on bright and everything. Not to steal JBL's quote, but
we had King Karina.
You kind of get that feeling of guys that were trying to kind of ease into spots and kind of get things done and not screw up and not this and that and not just go out there and work instead of not worrying about it.
It's almost like some of the Ring of Honor guys look at it as they're the minor leagues of WWE, that if they do their spots correctly, WWE will come calling.
I think it's just a thing where they don't want to goof up. They don't want to goof up on the big spotlight of being on pay-per-view. They want to get everything done. Because that's what I felt like the first half of the show, besides Seidel, ACH, and Roderick Strong, everybody else was just trying to move through the paces and just get it done. There weren't people that are just going out there and saying, fuck it, let's go out there and work and do what we do. And
kind of like Young Bucks did.
Right. I mean, and everybody in that match.
Yeah.
And there was just guys that just kind of tentatively went through spots and went through their matches. And I think that has a big thing to do with being on live, being on pay-per-view, and the bigness of everything that kind of is involved with that.
Right. But yeah, to what J-Man said about the main event itself, first 15, 20 minutes was super drag-assy. Yeah. They were trying to feel each other out and figure out what was going on. They tried to make it real big with, the Dijak and Diesel interfering and Lethal being like, get out of here, I can handle this or whatever, making it set up, okay, well, we're going to have a clean, match here. And then the Truth out there pulling a little punches and doing a little cheap shots here and there, but finally Nigel gets rid of him, and then they go straight into, as soon as it's about night, Nigel gets rid of Truth, that's when they kick it in gear and they start, putting on some big spots. But to me, I just felt like this was weirdly paced and just kind of, it was a good match, but it was good because of how the last 5 to 10 minutes, 7 minutes or something was, the explosion of the finishers and the big outside spot to the J Drill on the table or whatever kind of just set up the pace and made it move a little bit faster, but it just didn't have a pace where you would expect it to kind of
very choppy.
It seemed like it would get better, and then it kind of fell apart. And overall, it was obviously the best match, and it was and the moment was good, and Jay Lethal definitely deserved it. I've been saying for a while, watching Ring of Honor television, I think he's the best thing that they have for television as a as somebody who cuts promos, as an overall package. I can't seem to think of anybody else other than like that's on the main roster. You don't have these guys fill in like an AJ and a
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. Yeah, Adam Cole is back full time on the roster after this, but
he's been out with injury too.
So you didn't really have a guy that could carry that main spotlight like a Jay Lethal can with his promos, with his character, with his ability. Roderick Strong can work.
Yeah,
he's just not much of a
talker. He's
not much of a talker. He's just that go out there and
be a
prototypical indie great worker guy that you expect a great match out of.
And Briscoe is a very niche guy, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
He's a very niche character. He's a guy that you just love to love because he's Jay Briscoe. He's not really that just a character, a run a company type guy. And I think Lethal has vaulted himself up definitely at that point.
Yeah, but interesting to see what they do with the television tapings and go from here. Like I said, they do have a lot of talent and a lot of young guys, and they got to get these guys in the right direction and doing the right things. They got to remind these guys that this is a wrestling promotion, that you go out there and the crowd gets behind you, and the fans who watch you on pay-per-view and on TV get behind you if you can work. That's what happens. That's how things work. Nobody gave two shits about Michael Elgin when he first started. They were just like, who's this big bowling ball? Like, who's this guy? And then he started put on a good match, and then he put on another good match, and then he was having great matches with a bunch of people, and then he had amazing matches. Started having great matches with like everyone he got in the ring with. And he got over. The fans thought he was great. And that's the thing. You have to go out there and you have to produce. Of the young guys that they have, the only one I see in my mind that gets over off of talent is ACH. Yep. I can't see anybody that's new or young that people are like, oh, we love this guy, he's so great. He comes out and he does, he works good. He's a good worker. He has that high flying indie style that they desperately need. And I don't know. Interesting pay-per-view here. It's always cool to watch Ring of Honor pay-per-views and see what they're going to do. You always hope to see 1 to 2 great matches, but this just kind of fell. It kind of fell short, and hopefully they do that for Dishonor a little bit better and come up with and think about, hey, okay, we need to produce quality wrestling. That's what we do, you know what I mean? I don't go into watching a Ring of Honor pay-per-view thinking, holy shit, this storyline is fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
This Bray Wyatt is amazing. No, you don't have a Bray Wyatt. You don't have a John Cena guy. You don't have a Seth Rollins anymore. You have to put on good matches. That's what you do, and that's where that's your
built your
shining
foundation.
spot.
Yeah, and that built your foundation as far as where your company goes. Yeah, I definitely think that's what they need to have focus on, and I think they'll get back on track. I think as we were talking,
they definitely can.
Their weekly shows are great. I mean, the work that they show on the weekly Ring of Honor shows and on TV and everything, it's great work. And I think you just tie it all together, and I just think it's just a case of things falling flat here. The work of everything, the high spotlight of being on pay-per-view. I think you get more of that under a lot of these guys' belts, and they'll start to get that more comfortable feel and start to just kind of let loose and just work. So hopefully that's what we get for Dishonor. I think that, when did they say that was? In September, August, something like that?
I thought they said July.
July? Oh shit, next month.
Yeah, I thought it was next month.
Quick turnaround there. I wonder if that one will be on pay-per-view.
I thought they said
I think they said pay-per-view.
Internet. I think it was
Maybe.
internet.
Who knows? But yeah, that coming up, hopefully they can turn things around, and looking forward to seeing what they got going on too coming up in the future. This will now wrap up our Ring of Honor Best in the World 2015 review from my partners Robert and Ryan. I am J-Man, and thank you guys for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, the Pulse, Professional Wrestling.